Stanford University.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Patty Gumport. I'm the Vice Provost for Graduate Education. Very happy that you're here for this conversation on leadership with Tara Vanderveer. As you may know, VPGE has developed a broad array of leadership and professional development initiatives, including this speaker series. And in this series, we invite very accomplished leaders from industry, government, and academia to talk about the challenges and rewards of leading in these different contexts. So we're just very excited that you're here today to welcome our final speaker of the academic year, Tara Vanderveer. And she'll be introduced by John Boothroyd, who is the Associate Vice Provost of Graduate Education and Professor of Microbiology and Immunology. So it's all yours, John. Thank you.
Thanks, Patty, and welcome, everybody. As Patty said, the goals of this program were to give us all insight into leadership from people who come from different avenues. And the way that we decided on the program was to poll students for what people they'd like to hear from. And one of the categories that they identified was people who are leaders in sports. And as soon as we saw that, we said, wow, what a great idea. And the potential for interdisciplinary sort of learning from one another, the further afield you go, the greater the potential. So we were very excited about that. And it took us, I'd say, and by us, I mean Anika Green and Sherry Shepard, who's teaching right now, so she couldn't be here, and Patty and Chris Goldie and the whole VPG office, about 10 seconds to say, who do we want to have as our person representing sports and leadership in sports? And it was Tara Vanderveer. And the reasons, we could spend an hour going through her bio and her accomplishments, which isn't the goal today. But there were four things that came to mind as good examples of her leadership. First of all, she came here in about 1985, I think, so 25 years ago, and inherited, I guess would be the word, a team that was, frankly, not doing very well. It had a pretty losing record, and in 5 years took that team to the NCAA championship and won the championship, which is a phenomenal accomplishment for anyone. What impressed me over the years, and I've been following the team for a number of years, partly because I have a daughter who once said, why don't girls play sports? Because all she saw on TV were men. I said, you need to go see some really great women playing sports. But also, what really impressed me was the ability to sustain that record. So a lot of people would say, my goal is to win the championship, and then, and Tara has not done that at all. She has sustained that over the last 2 decades and consistently taken the team to amazing accomplishments. And unless you were living in a cave this past spring, you will know that they again went to the NCAA championship and came awfully close. But I mean, it's a phenomenal accomplishment. The third thing you may know is that she decided to take a break from this intense activity in 1995-96 and went and coached the U.S. Olympic women's team and took them in a 30-game route almost and won the gold medal in the 1996 Olympics. But the fourth thing that probably is most inspiring to me and to many people is the way she's helped usher women's sports from a time when I was growing up that it was essentially invisible. And it was a backwater at best and invisible at worst. And has helped bring it into the mainstream of media, mainstream of recognition. And it's not just we need more things to watch on TV. We obviously don't. But the accomplishment that represents, and I think in terms of civil rights in general, women's rights, and all the rest of it, is really very profound. So that's the thing that we just said, this is a person we would love to have do this. So, Tara, it's an honor to be at the same institution as you. It's a privilege, and it's what makes this place such an amazing place to work. So the format is that I'm going to pretend I'm Terry Gross for a little while, and I'll, this is fresh air, and then...
I thought I was also with Terry, so...
Okay, well, then you're going to be really disappointed. But, and then we'll open it up for general questions, just to have a conversation, which will be, I think, really enjoyable. So let's launch into it, and thanks again, Tara, for doing this. So I thought I'd start off with some sort of a hard question, but it's a general one, which is, if you can think and tell us about something that you've had to do in your career as a coach that was just incredibly hard, and talk a little bit about how you reached the decision you reached, and then how you communicated that, because I'm guessing that hard decision involved people, and how you communicate a hard decision.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to meet you and see some people I recognize, and Patty and John, this is an honor to be here, and I also recognize that at this time in the quarter, your time is very valuable, and if people leave, I won't be upset. I know that you have studying and all kinds of things that you're doing. But I did go to graduate school at Ohio State, and then kind of wove my path out here. So I have been here for 25 years. I started when I was 16. So it's, it's really a great place, and hopefully you're all having a great experience studying at Stanford. And one of the things I would just say, in the answer to the question, and probably the hardest thing for me to do, there were a couple things that were really hard along the way, but one of them was I was the head coach at Ohio State for 5 years, and we had a great team. And so the decision to come to Stanford, I was offered the job at Stanford, and I actually turned it down. And the athletic director at the time said, why are you saying no to Stanford? And I said, well, I don't know enough about it, and I have a lot to lose. The team I was coaching at Ohio State was a really talented team. And he said, well, come back and look. And I really felt that Stanford offers the ultimate challenge, because one of the hard things about recruiting and coaching at Stanford is getting the students in. It's very hard to get the combination of basketball and academics. My dad was actually a graduate of Dartmouth, and when I took the job at Stanford, I fibbed a little bit. I said, well, Dad, I'm thinking about taking the job at Stanford. I'd already taken it. And he said, don't take it. There's no way you can win. You will be, you'll be unemployed in 3 months, and you'll come home and live with us. And I was just thinking, no, my parents lived in Buffalo, New York. I said, no, that ain't happening. So, so part of so one of the tough decisions for me was leaving a great team and taking over a challenge. And I saw it as the ultimate challenge. And really, John was nice. The team was horrible. I mean, the people were great, but we played teams. We played USC. We played in the Pac-10, and we got beat by. I was happy when we only lost by 20. We have twice as many people in this room today as we did at any of our games when I was first at Stanford. And it was, at Ohio State, I'd left the team where we'd played. At Iowa, we had 22,000 people. We'd had 10,000 people. It was up and coming. It was, exciting. Title IX was just taking hold, and things were looking good. And I was in the grocery store, the Safeway, and I'm thinking, I almost had a nervous breakdown in the grocery store. What the heck am I doing at Stanford? But as it turned out, challenges, I think taking challenges and taking risks, maybe especially when you're young, they're part of the game, and they're fun. And you just seem a little bit invincible. And, I kind of caught myself one time when I took the job. They said, well, what are your goals at Stanford? And I said, to win a national championship. And then later I was like, did I really say that? I'm like, well, now I got to back it up. And in fact, we did, and we came very close this year, and I think that we have a great shot at winning next year. So hopefully, we can get that done. How many people will be around on campus next year? Anyone studying next year? Well, I told John that part of the deal was that I would get tickets for everyone. So anyone that would like to come to our game, and I'm not sure I can deliver on the Connecticut game, but there are some other really good ones that we're playing. We just scheduled Xavier. They'll be a top 5 team. They're really good. We beat them with about 1/10 of a second to spare. If anyone saw that game, we scored it was the leadoff for Sports Center. But probably the toughest decision I've had to make was leaving Stanford for a year. I had to resign to take the Olympic team, and we actually traveled all over the world and played. We played a schedule of 60 games to get ready for the Olympics, and I had to leave this team and all that I'd worked on and built, and I was introduced. There was actually in a room over in the athletic department, and there were TV cameras all across the back, reporters and such, and the head of USA Basketball, which was hiring me, introduced me and said the introduction was like this: this is not about bronze, this is not about silver, this is about gold. Tara Vanderveer. And I was like, whoa. So, that was taking over that team. and I had a year to get ready, and that actually, I remember it was on a March 13th. I'm not superstitious or anything, but, March 13th, I'm sorry, it was April 13th, and I had a little over a year and a half to get ready for the gold medal game, which was August 4th, 1996 in Atlanta. Some of you were very young then, but it was an incredible opportunity, but at the time, it was really like, we better win. And, there's a lot of things you don't have control over when you're a coach. Are people going to be healthy? Are they going, are they going to buy into this training for a year, which they'd never done? And so I had to have a lot of confidence, and I had to have, I just think, a lot of perseverance to get through that year and to make it happen. So that was kind of the toughest thing. And there'll be times that probably during, our Q&A today, I'll reference the Olympic year, and I actually worked with a woman who wrote a book on it called Shooting from the Outside. And I didn't do the title, but it kind of chronicled the year and how exciting it was and how much I learned. And once I felt like I made that tough decision, and once I got into it, there was one day on August 4th, 1995, when I went out running, and I came back and I was showering, and I just thought, oh my gosh, a year from today is the gold medal game. And I honestly just started shaking, like in the shower, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, what if we're not in that game? What if we don't win that game? What if, all these things. And I just got out and I sat down, and I could just feel this, incredible amount of stress and pressure. And I sat right there. I mean, I didn't have anything on. I was still soapy, and I sat on the toilet, and I just thought to myself, you know what you're doing. You're going to have great players. This is really exciting. But you've got to change your attitude. In order to win this, you've got to just go back in that shower, wipe, get everything off, including any thoughts of negativity. And that's what I did. And it was the most amazing thing that then kind of just really being positive about the whole year, the excitement, and looking forward to that gold medal game. And it was really a tremendous game. We played Brazil, which is a team we had lost to in the World Championships, and we had this game that was so amazing, and just people played so well. But I know that through the whole year, kind of looking forward to it, being positive, thinking positive thoughts, was a part of the reason that happened. And afterwards, I got the nicest letters. It was, for those of you that follow the basketball, I got one that had these little fuzzy dogs, and it was like John Wooden. I was like, John Wooden. He's like the most amazing coach ever in the history of men's basketball. And he wrote me this really nice letter about the gold medal. Now, there were other ones that I got. One was from like Coach Knight, Bobby Knight, and people all over the world. And I kind of go back to that tough decision to, do I take a year from Stanford? If I don't, I'm never going to have this opportunity again. And then doing it and really enjoying every single day of preparing the team, working with the team, traveling, and learned an incredible amount of lessons. And now, in any game that we play, I'm like, there's not the pressure on me that was ever on me for that gold medal game. So I'm even more relaxed, and I'm like, oh, we missed a basket, no big deal. All right. Somebody gets a foul, all right, let's keep it going. So it really helped me grow, I think, as a coach.